Hello and welcome to my second daily challenge. I thought today I would go over board games since my channel name is a play on the word board gaming, the words. um, and since I'm going to be featuring board games in this channel, and it looks like I actually have a target for the daily challenge this time, 14,000. That shouldn't be too hard if I don't get killed by spikes at the beginning somehow, or arrows like last time. So hopefully I can focus while I'm talking. And hopefully I can talk long enough to go on about stuff other than just my introduction to board gaming. Maybe talk about why maybe you should check out board games and get more interested in them. Because there's more out there than just Monopoly and Risk and the things that we grew up with. So whenever I say board games, you might be thinking things like Monopoly, Clue, Risk, things that you grew up with, family games, really basic, roll a die and move a certain distance, and that's really not what board games are anymore. They've really grown into a lot of different things. And there's a board game for just about everyone out there. If there's a subject that interests you, there's very likely a board game that's built around it. My introduction to board games, I had only played collectible card games, and I only knew the classic games that I played with my family. But I went into college, and I met a group that play Magic the Gathering, and so I would play that card game with them, and eventually I found out that they actually play board games on certain days of the week. So they brought some board games over to the college, and I played a game called Last Night on Earth, which is about surviving a zombie invasion in different scenarios, like trying to get your keys and the gasoline in town and then take it to the truck and escape before the zombies kill you. And that was a lot of fun. And there was another game we played called Shadow Hunters, where one set of people are shadows, which are evil characters like vampires, werewolves, those sorts of things. And another group are the hunters trying to hunt them, and then on top of that there's neutral people that are in the mix, and you don't really know who anyone is. So most of the game is trying to figure out who is on your side, and sometimes you're just taking blind stabs in the dark trying to just get at the other team, and you might accidentally kill someone on your own team if you're not careful. And that's a lot of fun. And it only takes about 30 minutes to play, so we played it a lot. And we played another game called Ghost Stories. I can talk coherently while I'm playing, I swear. And it's about a group of monks that are going around killing ghosts. And it's actually quite difficult to win. And surprisingly, in my first game of it, we actually did win. It was mostly luck. But it takes a lot of teamwork. So there are some board games you work together, like in Last Night on Earth. You have certain people playing as the zombies, 1 or 2 people, and then you have 1 to 4 people playing as the heroes who are trying to escape. So it's kind of one team is cooperative, the other team's cooperative, and then you also have board games like you're probably used to with things like Monopoly, where everyone is out for themselves, and whoever gets the most points, or whatever your victory condition is, just wins. And then there's all sorts of really clever ones, like one of my favorites is Galaxy Trucker. If you survive the game and you actually have money left at the end, you win. Doesn't matter how much you have. If someone else has more money than you, then they're just more of a winner than you are. But everyone who actually survives and has money wins, and I think that's pretty cool. It's more of a fun game to just enjoy yourself and not worry about being competitive. After I got introduced to board gaming in college, I got interested and I went and looked around and I found a subreddit. Oh look, a freeze ray. This will be handy. Yeah, I'm interested in purchasing this. Oh, no, sorry. Actually, I wanted to try it out. Yeah, there we go. So I went and I found a subreddit for board gaming, and I also found there was an IRC for that subreddit, and there were a lot of people on there that surprised me and told me all sorts of different games out there, and I got really intrigued. There's a lot of interesting games out there, and there were some great shows for learning about board games. For instance, Shut Up and Sit Down, which I mentioned before, with Paul Bean and Quentin Smith starting it off, and now they have more people hosting it and doing different side reviews, and I highly recommend that site. They have a lot of very entertaining as well as informative videos on board gaming. And the subreddit, I'm not sure if I'd recommend it now, because the problem is it got really popular and now there's a ton of people there and it's hard for them to really moderate it. So it's kind of a mess. There's a lot of repetition and there's a lot of people asking silly questions that have already been asked, or asking for the millionth time something that is, against the rules. But overall, it has a lot of good posts within it. That was really stupid. I should have noticed that was not triggered yet. My list for board games that I want to get is ridiculously long. In particular, there's a game called K2, which is about climbing a mountain, and it looks like it's very fun. It gets more and more harsh as you go up, and you can add in, more weather conditions, making it rougher on you. But you have to deal with acclimatization, and as you get higher up, it gets harder to get up the mountain, so maybe you wasted your rappelling ropes before you really should have. And it looks like it's a pretty simple game to pick up as well, so I could play it with my family. Chances are, when I start doing real-life videos on board gaming, I'm going to be playing with my family, so you'll probably see a game called Ticket to Ride, which I'm considering doing as my first Let's Play. It is a game about building train routes between cities, but not everyone is going the same way. So you have secret cards that'll tell you which way you're going to build your routes, and you're trying to get your route built without someone blocking you. And it's a very simple game to learn, and it's a lot of fun to play. And the digital version actually takes a lot less time than the physical version. The physical version will take about an hour to play. If you play the digital version, which has been on sale in Humble Bundles a few times, then it only takes about 15 minutes to play. And that was too far of a drop. Damn it. So yeah, definitely check out Shut Up and Sit Down, which I linked in the previous video, and I can link in this one as well. The subreddit is worth checking out. Just remember that there's a lot of people there, and if you're looking for something specific, then you might need to use the search function, because chances of finding an interesting post on a board game that is relevant to you is probably pretty low. But they've been covering a lot of things, including Kickstarters, which I think are a pretty cool idea, but it's a little risky, because what a Kickstarter is, if you haven't heard of it, is it's a crowdfunding source. So what happens is, I say I'm going to build a board game, and I show you the art that I've come up with, and the design, and what I plan to do with it, and how much money I need. And then I'll say something like, give me $1 and I'll put you in the rule book at the end saying that you supported me. Give me $5, I'll give you a t-shirt maybe, or something like that. And then you could say, oh, if you give me $40, I'll give you a copy of the game. And then the dollar amounts just go up, and then sometimes people put really ridiculous ones like, give me $1,000 and I'll have coffee with you, or something like that. Or put yourself into the game. There's a lot of community things where people can come up with art, or they can come up with a name, or they can come up with maybe a sentence or a paragraph or something that actually goes into the game. But what happens is everyone pledges the amount that they want to pledge for what rewards they want and how much they want to support you. And then if you meet the goal, then they pay. If you don't, then they don't have to pay anything. So it's a really cool idea, and it can help people that want to start their own businesses, or people who are just independent and they just want to get something out there. It helps them out, and I think it's really cool. So you can also check out Kickstarter.com, which I'll link in the description, and you might find something cool. I found Boss Monster, and it's going to get featured in my channel eventually. And it's a very cool card game that's based off of an 8-bit video game kind of theme. But I should probably stop talking because you're just staring at my score, which is pretty similar to last time actually. I'm seeing a pattern. So, alright, I will end this now. Have a good rest of your day.